Rock and roll to me is Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, that stuff. I don't hear music these days, although they call it rock and roll, it's not rock and roll. Or music of Bob Dylan, which has always been my favourite. He said more in one song than the average songwriter said in many lifetimes. And also I think...
Well, we'll have updates later. Yeah. Once you get up on stage and play?
I don't think so. There's nothing much, you know, of Bob's material that I could play on, really. You know, I mean, you play a rhythm guitar, but I mean, he doesn't need anybody. He just needs himself.
George, you know, to tell you the truth, I've no idea what's a hit and what isn't a hit these days. But but that's, you know, that was quite pleasant. But as I say, I prefer Bob Dylan's version. Nothing personal, Manfred.
It would be interesting to get Bob Dylan's reaction on this. Actually, I wonder, would he be aware, or would you be aware, in the same kind of category of celebrityhood, I suppose, of other people recording your songs and taking them into the charts? Do you?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. If it gets a lot of radio play and you know, and it does anything in sales, I'm sure he'll know about it. I mean, that's really nice as a songwriter if somebody else does the songs, even bad versions, you know, it's nice, just the idea. But Bob is probably not impressed because it takes a lot to impress Bob Dylan. But, you know, I mean, everybody's recorded his tunes. And
You completely achieved most people's dream of fame and wealth, but are there any other dreams or aspirations that you still want to see come true?
For myself, you mean, or for everybody?
Well, for yourself, and maybe perhaps for everybody else, too.
Right, well, really, the fame and the wealth bit's good to get out of the way at an early age, because, you know, there's no fun waiting around for taxis or buses when you can't afford a car and all that, and you don't know where your next meal's coming from. But once you got all that bit, you suddenly find out that isn't it anyway. And you still want to know, who am I, what am I doing here, and where am I going? Basically, that is what it's all about. And for me, that helped me get to that point where when you finally reach the top, you find out you're at the bottom. And so, you know, then you have to look somewhere else, you know, and where do you look for this lamp that's a flashing and the oil well that's a gushing and all that stuff, you know? You listening, Bob? Where do you look? And it's inside. You look in your heart, because that's the only place you're going to get anything of any value in this life, is inside yourself, in your heart. And when you get it, you just got to hang on to it and get more of it and give it to everybody else, and they'll give it back to you. And eventually we'll all get out of here, said the Joker to the thief.